everybody, it's Hex here, and I've got a brand new series for you that I was going to start doing. It is Redstone Basics. So I'm going to go over all of the different things about Redstone that I can come up with, that starting from the very beginnings, like what is Redstone, which is this episode. And these are going to be kind of short, but each one is going to cover a topic in Redstone. So we're going to go over like what it is, how to place it, basically how it works, and then getting into some contraptions like monostable circuits, whatever that is, and repeater clocks and hopper timers and all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, if you didn't know and you mined down and you found this block like I first did when I first found Redstone, I was quite surprised to find this block. What is this thing? Well, this is Redstone, and when you mine it with a iron pick or grater, then it gives you redstone dust, this stuff here. And you're like, great, cool, redstone sparkly dust. What do I do with it? And then you right click and you're like, makes a little dot. Okay, and then you walk off and you're like, okay, that's kind of boring. But what redstone is it allows you to make contraptions, to make dynamic items within the game. So we'll get more into that in a little bit. If you're watching any of my tutorials, you should probably know like what redstone does for the most part, and you probably already know. But anyways, I thought I'd mention that. Okay, so here's some things about redstone. First of all, placing it on the ground. If you place it on the ground once, you get a dot like that. We'll go over that dot later. If you place it in a line, so like dot, 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 you get exactly that, a line. You cannot place it on grass. I am right-clicking right now. Can you hear me right-clicking? Clicky, clicky. Nope, can't place it. Can't place it on glass. Can't place it on upside-down slabs, at least in the current version 1.12 on Java edition. You may be able to do that in other editions. I don't think so though. You can place it on right side up slabs though, like this. Okay. You can place it on the ground. You cannot place it on top of cactus or anything that's considered to be a transparent block. You can't place it on top of fence posts. You can't place it on top of leaves. You can place it on top of pistons, but in the Java edition, the piston, if I put a thing right here, the piston will actually knock it off. I think in Bedrock edition it stays on there, so that's kind of cool. So Bedrock edition is a little bit different. Some of these things are different. Also, you cannot place it on stairs, and there's probably a list of other things that I forgot. But basically, any opaque block, any solid opaque block, you can place it on, from what I know. Opaque just means you can't see through it. Like glass is transparent, opaque is the opposite, in case you didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that meant for like a long time. Okay, so Redstone Output. So how do you power this stuff? Like what happens? Well, you can power redstone with different things. You can power it with a button. When it powers, it turns bright red and little sparks start to fly out of it. You can power it with a lever. You can power it with a pressure plate. You can power it with a daylight sensor. You can also turn a daylight sensor to night so that it's not powered during the day if you want to, by right-clicking it there like that. You can power it with an observer. So if I move this trapdoor, the observer will power that for a second. See? You can power it obviously with a redstone torch. We'll get to those later. You can power it with a block of redstone. You can power it with a chest or other thing with some stuff in it, and a comparator. You can power it with tripwire hooks, and by placing a string in between them, they have to be at least a block apart, put a string in between, and then when you walk, or a mob walks and goes into the tripwire, the redstone powers. You can power it with a trapped chest. So when the chest opens, let's see if I can get it so you can see it. You can see it right here. It's jumping around right there, so it's powered right now. You can power it with, these are what we call weighted pressure plates. So in other words, if an item falls on it, there's a light and a heavy version. The heavy version, you have to put more stuff on it for it to power. The more stuff you put on it, the more it powers, and so on. These aren't used that much, but it's worth mentioning. You can also power with this thing over here, which is a minecart going over. This is a detector rail. So the detector rail, when the minecart goes over it, will power this. The reason that I have a chest in there is because you can also use a comparator with that, or a repeater to power this redstone right here, like that. So you can see the comparator is actually powering just this little bit. What can you then do with a powered piece of redstone? Yay, so I can make it turn reds. Who cares? What can I do with it? Well, you can open a door with it. You can open a regular door with it. You can open a fence gate. You can open a trap door. You can open a regular trap door. You can have a dropper. So droppers dispense items like this. Every time they are powered, they dispense one item. So you can have a dispenser, which in some cases will actually do an action like if I put the arrows in the dispenser, it will shoot me. Like that. Dispensers are good for also dispensing water, dispensing lava, dispensing some other things. You can turn on lights with redstone lamps. You can power a piston, which can move a block. You can power a sticky piston, which can move a block and then retract said block. You can power a note block and make a little sound. Can you hear it? You can power a powered rail and move a minecart. You can power a hopper and lock that hopper and keep it from picking up items. So in here I have 58 diamonds. You'll notice that none of the diamonds are coming out of the chest. The minute I unpower this, the diamonds will start to come out of the chest. This is how item sorters are built. Okay. You can also power TNT like this. Kaboom. You can power another lamp that's far away. Uh-oh. Why isn't it working? Here's why. Redstone can only be powered for 15 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But when you get to the 15th block, when you get to the 16th block, there is no power. Watch. So if I'm all the way down here, there's no power. See, this one's not powered. This one is, that one's not. So redstone actually loses power the further it gets away from a power source like a lever or one of those other things I showed you. So you can take a repeater to extend that power and get it to where you need to go. Okay. All right. So this is the very first video on redstone basics. Next time, we're going to talk about how to power things and weak and strong power. This has been Hex. I hope that you've enjoyed this little redstone basics tutorial. And as always, have a wonderful day and God bless.